Uh, does the screen is visible? Fully the screen is shared there?
Yes.
It's visible.
It's visible, ma'am.
Okay. Before going on to the topic, my humble pranams to my Guru, Dr. L. Mahadevan sir, Sri Sarada Ayurveda Hospital, Darisnangop, and to all my faculties of Government Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Nagarkoil. Before going to the plans that I personally saw in Avalanche, this is the Nilgiris Biosphere map, which I had been a part of. The Kunda Reserved Forest, which is located here, is the area which I'm going to cover now, the avalanche. A small introduction of the Nilgiris Biosphere Reserve. It is the first biosphere reserve established in the year 1986, and it's also the India's first international biosphere reserve. It is declared as the World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2012. Aralam, Mudumalai, Mukkurthi, Nagarhole, Bandipur, and Silent Valley National Parks, and Wayanad, Karimpura, and Satyamangalam Wildlife Sanctuaries come under this biosphere reserve. It is represented by the unique and threatened ecosystems that ranges from seasonal rainforest in the low hills, tropical mountain forest and grasslands in the higher reaches, moist deciduous to scrub through dry deciduous towards the plains in the eastern end. This Nilgiris Biosphere Reserve houses a sizable number of species of flora and fauna that includes a large number of endemics with special reference to conservation. This is my topic. This is the small picture where Nilgiri Langur sitting here. This is the slice of avalanche, we can say it. It comprises the mountain grasslands and shrublands, and it is nearly 2,000 meter above the sea level, and it receives the annual rainfall of 5,000 mm, some freezing temperatures in winters, and also it experiences the high winds. Here we can see a number of streams and reservoirs that acts as the source of river, and here is and this is the place where the river Bhavani is originated, and it also portrays rich biodiversity that is the habitat for many endemic floras, faunas, amphibians, and other microbial forms. Let me share some of the plants that I had photographed and experienced here in Avalanche. First species is Rhododendron arboreum, subspecies Nilagiricum. This is also called as Nilagiri rhododendron. It is an evergreen tree. This is said to be the endemic Western Ghat plant. It's commonly seen in high altitudes and mountain evergreen forest. The IUCN status is said to be vulnerable, and the dried flowers is fried in ghee, and it is used to stop the blood dysentery. This is the folk use that I had seen in some papers regarding this rhododendron subspecies Nilagiricum. This species we can also see in Himalayas, and it is the state flower of Himachal Pradesh, and it is also the national flower of Nepal. and it is the beautiful dark pink to crimson red flower that we can see blossomed in the winters. That tree itself very beautiful to see when it is bloomed. The next plant is Berberis tinctoria. It's also called as Nilgiri barberry, and this is also distributed in Western Ghats, and it's endemic to Western Ghats, mostly seen in high altitudes along the evergreen forest. In Nilgiris, there are actually some 6 indigenous tribes: Tora people, Badaga people, Katanayakas, Panikas, Irulas, Kurumbas, like that we can say. Each indigenous tribe actually occupied a specific geographical location in Nilgiris. So here I am sharing the ethno-medicinal uses that is mostly used by Badaga people and Tora people. Even rest of the tribes are using some of the medicinal plants, but here in Avalanche, when we are entering to the forest reserve, there is a mand in Toda language is called village. So mostly the Toda people are concentrated here. So I'm sharing those ethno-medicinal uses and the uses which I had read and followed from some of the research papers. This plant, the parts used are roots and leaves. They are using for jaundice, ulcer, and stomach ache. This is Badaga people's usage, and leaves and stem also is used in dysentery, stomach bloating. The juice of the bark or dried bark is powdered and they are internally administered. This is used by Kurumba tribes, this usage. And Toda people, they use even for ethno-veterinary purpose, like in snake bite and indigestion. They externally rub the leaves over the cattle from neck to tail. The next plant is Mahonia lestenaldi. This is a beautiful plant that has both religious and medicinal use. Especially, this is more religiously used by Toda people for their religious concern. This is a large shrub or a small tree distributed in evergreen forest, and this is also an endemic southern western plant. Local language that is called Tovari or Mulkadambu. The stem bark is made into paste and internally administered to newly delivered women. And they are also used for fever, cold, and arrest other complications that occurring during postnatal period. The leaves are soaked in water, and this holy water is sprinkled during annual temple festivals as a purification ritual by Toda people. The next plant is Arisima lestenaldi. This is called cobra lily in common. It's a tuberous herb. This is also this is actually a rare plant and seen in the margin of sholas, evergreen forest, and grasslands. They call it as palm chedi. The parts used are leaves and spadix, and they make paste out of it, and it's used as antidote and even for veterinary purpose by Toda people. In Badaga language, it is called Ahu Marigidu. They consider this as poisonous plant, and they use the bulb, that is the root, that is made into paste, and it's smeared to the site of the fracture and regions of body pain, and also for skin diseases. This is the green one in the left corner is the unripe fruit. This red one is the ripe fruit, and this tuber they also approved for many medicinal purposes. The next plant is Oxalis corniculata, or plant Changeri. This is the nice trifoliate leaf. You can see some drupe-like fruit here, and this is the yellow bright flower. Also called as Indian sorrel or yellow oxalis, small recumbent herb. It's not only found in high altitudes, but it's also commonly found all over India, especially in shaded localities, river banks, gardens, forest edges, and scrub jungles. In Badaga language, this is called as Kunna Ulla Majiga. The leaves are mainly used, sometimes even the whole plant is used. They internally administer for dysentery and headache, and the leaf juice is useful for eye lotion, might be for some eye infections like that. And the plant juice is mixed with buffalo milk, and it cures any type of headache when consumed internally. This is their ethnomedical use. And as we all know, in Ayurveda, Charaka, Shushruta, and Vagbhata, they all mentioned it under Shaka Vargam, Kapha Vadaharam, and we are using for using it as antidote for Datura Visham, and we are using it in many other formulations also. Mainly we are using for Guda Brahmsha and all. Next plant I am going to explain is the Andrographis lobeloides. This is a rare and endemic plant that I had seen here. This is the old habitat plant. You can see the nice herb photo here. And this picture, left corner picture, is the beautiful flower. And this one is the leaves with bud photo. This is said to be endangered because the number of sightings or the recorded sightings is low, I think. And the Andrographis species which we are using in our clinical practice, the same usage can be done with this plant also, but folk medicine by total people, they use like the leaf decoction, they mix it with buffalo's milk, and they use it for the treatment for viral fever, snakebite, and jaundice. The next drug is Galteria fragrantissima. This is the beautiful tree. Sorry, not a tree. Sorry, tree. Evergreen tree. It's also seen in high altitudes in most places of the Western Ghats. It's called Yennai Giddu by the Badga people, and the leaves and roots they are using. Leaves they will distill, and they are using it as oil also, mainly for joint pain and skin nourishment purpose. And this is the plant commonly that we are getting as wintergreen oil. That is, the leaves are collected and they distill this and they make essential oil named wintergreen oil. And this oil we are getting in markets in most number of the most joint pain oil formulations, and in by most of the medicinal companies. These blue fruits are edible. We actually eat this fruit. It's called as iodex berry or vix berry. It will be very tasty. And the next plant is Centella asiatica. You all know this plant is Manduka Parni. It's a creeping herb. Can see in all regions. Media drug which we are using for many purposes. And in Badaga language, it is called Kudare Komba. The whole plant extract is given orally on empty stomach to cure jaundice, and they are using for urinary problems and also for menstrual pain. They are using for skin diseases also. The next plant is Acmella calva. It's called as toothache plant. It's a nice herb and seen in Western Ghats and also in high altitudes. This inflorescence, just they'll pick up the flower, and whenever they are feeling the toothache, they just crush the flower and eat it like that. By the local tribes, they are using this plant in that form. And the next plant is Euphorbia rothiana. This is also a herb commonly seen in many places. In Toda language, they call it kabodi. And the latex is applied over the boils and acne externally. And in ethno-veterinary use, they use it as insect repellent. The leaves are mixed with salt water and sprayed on the cattle skin to repel away the insects. The next plant is Solanum cicimbrifolium. It's a herb, and this is said to be the invasive plant. In Baraga language, it is called Kadutamba. The fruit and seeds are used, and they give for toothache, and fruits are also edible. They give for stomachache. The dried leaf powder is useful for cough. Ethno-veterinary usage is also found. The leaf paste is mixed with garlic, salt, and given to cattle internally for deworming purpose and in diarrhea also. Leaf paste is applied to wounded parts of the cattle to repel away the insects. Elaeagnus colonga, the next plant. This is the shrub, and Baraga people call it as kolanga annu. The fruits are edible. Root, leaf, and fruits are used. They give for heart pain, fever, and both internal and external usages are done in this plant. The next plant is Eucalyptus globulus, commonly called blue gum. This is an evergreen tree, and it's said to be the invasive plant in Nilgiris because this is not the natural shola plant. This is said to be introduced by Britishers here, and the famous eucalyptus oil is collected from the leaves of this tree and other species of eucalyptus also. Badaga people call it as kapura yalai, and they use it for joint pain, body pain, headache. Oil is commonly used. The next plant is Rhodomyrtus tomentosa. This is the nice flower, and the fruits is also edible. They call it as Tavate Annu by Badaga people, and they use it for anti-diarrheal purpose. Next one is Leucus aspera. They call it as Tumbai. The fresh leaves are chewed to get relief from stomachache, and the flowers are soaked in water overnight, and this extract is dropped into ice for conjunctivitis. Leaf extract is used for controlling excessive bleeding, and this is said to be the good plant for many butterflies also. A swift butterfly is collecting nectar from this flower of this plant. And the next plant is Lobelia lesbianoldi. By Toda people it is called tulksh, and the leaves is used for maggot wounds. Administration is the paste is applied on the wounded areas, especially the maggot wounds, and we can see three Rubus species here in Avalanche, Rubus ellipticus, Rubus parholmianus, and Rubus racemosus. All the three plants deliver some beautiful fruits that looks like mini berry. I will show the pictures in the coming slides. And all these fruits are edible by the local people. This one is the Rubus ellipticus species. Flowers, plant, and the bright orange berry here. And the next is Rubus parholmianus. This is the maroon fruit, and the leaves look like a triangle shape, nearly a triangle shape. And this is the flower of the plant Rubus parholmianus. And Rubus racemosus, some silvery shade, nice berry fruit from this plant. The next plant is Piper whitey. Piper nigrum is the maricha we use in Ayurveda, but this is Piper whitey. I cannot find much documents regarding the ethno-medicinal use of this plant, but they say it is kaattu melagu and they use it for edible and medicinal purpose. Magnolia nilgirica or Michelia nilgirica. This is an evergreen tree. This is said to be the one of the shola plant that's covering the higher canopies. This is the closer view of the flower with inflorescence. Sorry, the flowering part. And the Nilgiri langur seen in the Michelia nilgirica tree. The coming slides, I will be showing the pictures of some endemic plants, but I cannot find much ethno-medicinal use so far. Then this plant is Daphne-phyllum elegans. Fruits are seen here, and the langurs also feed over this plant. Curculigo orchioids, muesli, are drug. Commonly seen in the grasslands, and this is the tuberous root that we are using for medicinal purpose. And the next drug is Nothopoditis pneumoniana, previously called Mapia foetida. This drug is an important drug. The camptothecin is a chemical compound that they are extracting from this plant that is mainly used for chemotherapy in Western medicine. So they are cultivating this plant externally also. So far, the synthetic camptothecin is not available, so they are believing in the natural sources. So this plant is exploited more. This is the inflorescence, and these are the berries that are found in this plant. The next plant is Cinnamomum whitey. This tree is a nice aromatic tree. The leaves we are using for some edible purposes also. Some of the orchid pictures I'm showing in the next slides. This is Calanthe slivatica, beautiful terrestrial orchid. Oberonia ensiformis, this one. And this is another herb that is found in the high altitudes, especially Western Ghats. Usbechia brachystemon, the flower plant, and the hair is plant in the next slide. The next plant is Usbekia aspera, the beautiful purple flowers, and this is also a herb that is found in high altitudes. The next is insectivorous plant Drosera peltata. This tentacles actually having some sticky substance, so the insects get attracted to it and get stuck on the tentacles. Likewise, the plant kills the insects. The next orchid is Satyrium napellans. The Nilagiri is actually famous for the blue shade in the mountains that is caused by this flowers called Neelakurunji. The botanical name is Tobilanthus kuntiana. This is this plant and it's said to be bloom once in 12 years. And this is also another endemic species, Strobilanthes whiteiana, said to be white skurunji. This is the picture of the Toda tribe. That this I took during one of the ceremony. Before concluding this, there are actually many plants and many flora here. So one need time and even some right people to guide and explore. So the Center of Excellence of the Ministry of Environment and Forest given some quote that we must understand and remember that once balance of the nature is disturbed or destroyed, it is beyond man's capability or capacity to stop or prevent the disastrous chain reaction that will be triggered of destroying the entire human community. So the climate change and many of the things are actually creating many changes in high altitude places like Nilgiris, and it's also damaging the ecosystems here. So we should also conserve these type of ecosystems, and we should get to know all these flora and other medicinal plants that yet to be used by the people. I thank Dr. Ajayan sir for giving me this beautiful opportunity to share my experience, and I also thank Jeevit sir, one of the research biologists in Salim Ali Institute of Ornithology, Anekatti, and V.S. Ramachandran sir, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, retired botanist, and all my friends and family members who had helped me to who had helped me a lot in many of the things. So
Thank you.
thank you, Aranyakam, for inviting me and sharing my experience here in this beautiful ethno-medicinal topic. Thank you all.